Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Debra Eckerling, creator of the Deb Method for Goal Setting Simplified. I am also a book proposal strategist, a podcaster, clearly, and author of Your Goal Guide and 52 Secrets for Goal Setting and Goal Getting. You can't reach your goals on your own. You need your people. So every week I bring in some of my people to have a chat and let you all watch. And today we're talking about live streaming. And as you know, if you're a regular listener, watcher, whatever, you know, unless it's on purpose, my guests don't know each other. Today, it's very much on purpose. So I've got with me Jim Fuhs and Chris Stone, who are the co-hosts of Dealcasters. And last year, they interviewed me. So I figured, wouldn't it be fun for me to interview them? And I do remember when I was on your show, it was just one big mess of a good time. So we got really high expectations today, for sure. You may be watching us as GoalChat live. You might be watching the replay. You might even be listening to us as GoalChat on the Marketing Podcast Network. No matter how you found us, we are so glad you're here and choosing, in the case of today, live streaming goals. Woohoo! I should have probably said that more enthusiastically. Before we actually jump in, well, this is like, is this not meta? We're live streaming, talking about live streaming with live streamers.
Are we on Meta?
Yeah.
Yes, we are. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube.
Yeah, and we're on Substack.
And we're on Substack. Thank you, Jim, who is now originally we were supposed to be talking about Substack today, and do not worry, we will talk about Substack again. But when our plan changed, I'm like, oh, good. Let's just have Chris on and we'll like geek out about live streaming. So it's all, everything that we do is in service of sharing our message and helping people use the tools that are available. Well, in this case, use the tools that are available to getting themselves, their message, their experience, their expertise out there. And what better way to do that than with live streaming? Okay, so before I talk like the entire time, which is possible, but not something I would actually do, I would love for each of you to introduce yourselves better, because right now all they know is you're podcasters and you're awesome, which is true, but what else do they need to know?
So I'm Jim Fuhs. I'm the president of Fuhsion Marketing, and I'm honored to co-host the show Dealcasters with my friend and person that keeps me straight, as you saw before the show, Chris Stone with Dealcasters, and otherwise you'd be seeing the goth Jim Fuhs right now, as I did one of the big rules of live streaming, which is not to change cameras right before you go live. So change back to my old camera. Thank you, Chris, for being, we tell each other the truth, right? So I'm not offended that Chris told me that I needed to change cameras. I know better. So, and I talk a lot about and do videos about Substack. That's become like my, I guess, is newish thing, because I've been doing it for a few months now, and it's really amazing. In fact, quick story, we'll see if he does it. Our good friend Alex Sanfilippo posted on LinkedIn that he got kicked off of Facebook because he said something about, people should work hard or something. And I guess someone at Meta didn't like it. And I said, you should come over to Substack. They like podcasters. So we'll see if he does it.
He got kicked off of Facebook.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay, because I see him on Facebook and LinkedIn all the time.
Not anymore.
Apparently. Well, maybe,
Not for the last few days,
yeah. I think that, the whole thing about, needn't build unrented land. That is exactly the reason why when you are creating content, you need to be all the places, but also have a website. Although I think, Jim, you're just, last time you had me put your Substack as your website.
It is my website.
So that's kind of, yeah. That is kind of the opposite of, but this is why you need to be really careful on social media, because your content might not be there forever.
Yep.
Right.
I think I was kicked out of Facebook for like 3 days once, and it was ridiculously difficult for me. I mean, I had other people I can find. It doesn't matter. But when you're building your following, you need to be all the places, but you also need to have that one place you can call home. We're getting into the content already. Let's stop that and welcome Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris Stone. I am the founder of Cast Ahead, and we produce podcasts for entrepreneurs and business owners who don't want to know how all the stuff works. They just want to show up and turn on their cameras and their microphones and create a show, and that's what we do for them. And obviously, Jim mentioned co-host of Dealcasters. With him, we go live on Amazon and other tubes as well. And we talk about the products as it relates to live streaming and podcasting. And we have a lot of fun because that is really why we do it, is to have fun and meet amazing people like Debra Eckerling so that we can learn the 52 secrets and have fun live streaming. But yeah, Deb, let's rock. This is,
Yes.
You mentioned, Deb, on that, we had fun on Dealcasters, and I had not really, I knew who you were, and I knew you were an author, and you had the book, and you were very familiar to me, but I hadn't really spent any time with you, and knew you and Jim had done work together, been on shows together, that whole thing. But the interesting thing, one of the things about live streaming that I love was about a minute into the conversation, I was like, okay, this person we're going to have fun with, right? And you can kind of sense that, when you jump into a Zoom call with somebody and you're like, ooh, I want to go. Or even when you're in IRL, right? You walk into a room and you're like, oh, that person looks like I can connect with them. They look like they're going to be fun. And I think a lot of times that kind of energy can be brought about in a live stream, and it can really create a great original piece of content. So you've been on a ton of podcasts, Deb. You've been on a ton of different live streams, but have you ever been on one like that before? It's different because we create a different energy, and then it's not like somebody shows up and just opens up a can of the same thing that they said on the 27 other podcasts they were on that year. It was a different kind of vibe, and we're just kind of seeing how things go. And sometimes the plane doesn't land, other times, you're fixing the plane before it does. It's an interesting kind of thing. And if people are watching and they're along with you for the ride, I think it could be a really entertaining thing.
Well, I will pose the same question back to you. Have you ever been on a live show like GoalChat? It's a little different. It's usually both you and Jim have been on before, but not together.
Yeah.
And I always say that that GoalChat is my favorite networking
Yes.
opportunity, because if I just met someone and I feel like they're a really good fit for a show, I'll put them right on. Or if I haven't seen someone in a while, it's like, you haven't been on the show. Come on, GoalChat.
Yeah.
And I think to actually make it relevant to the conversation, the point is, when you have a live show, it's your playground and you get to make it whatever you want it to be. And it is a reflection of your personality, as Dealcasters is for you and Jim. And you kind of answered the first question before I even asked it. So I'm going to make you answer it in a more direct way. You are welcome. Other than to have fun, why live stream? Jim, you want to start?
Yeah, let's let Jim do. Yeah, I've been talking the whole time.
I think it's better to live stream because, and actually I was on a live stream last week with our friend James Hicks, and also with Dr. J. Junaid Ahmed, and we were talking about video podcast versus audio. And I started out doing live video with Tim Sohn on the Tim and Jim show. Gosh, it's hard to believe, almost 8 years ago. And so for me, getting comfortable speaking live, speaking with other people, which I think also is kind of that difference. It's easier having a conversation because the two of you are here. It's a little weird when you're kind of feel like you're just talking to yourself, but people do it. But I just think that, one, this is the real us. This is natural. There's no second take. And I think, one, you get to connect with your audience. I mean, over here on Substack, we've got Coach Shawn Michael, and we've got Curtis Riggs that are in the chat. And so thank you guys for joining us. And so we're able to see if they have questions. We're able to answer them in real time. We're able to make them connect with us. And I think for me, it's fun, right? It's fun to, we have no idea what we're going to say next. We have no idea what's going to happen. So we're kind of living on the edge where, like, if it's, overproduced, sometimes that can lead to people overthinking things.
Overthinking, bad. Thinking just enough, good, right? But the other part of it, and yes, I will let you answer the question, Chris. The reason I like live streams is there's no excuse. If you are an expert, if you are an authority, or since you are an expert, since you are an authority, you need to really grab your space as the authority in whatever topic. And I tell my book proposal clients, if you don't have a podcast, start one. You don't want to start a podcast, start a live show. You are claiming your topic, and it's only going to serve you, your business, and eventually your book better.
Yeah.
So that's my answer. It's an easy way to have a cheap podcast. And you, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many reasons, and I'll pick one. It may be the most important. You guys covered off a lot of the things, but I think if you're in business, like we are in business, and Deb, I'm guessing 99.7% of the people that are watching the show are in business of some sort. There is too much polish and orchestration for what is put out on your websites and social media and other people's. And so what live video allows you to do is to put out content that makes you more approachable, that people can connect with. And so when they see a video like this, and maybe they're looking for someone like me that can produce their podcast, or someone like Deb that can work with them on their goals, or someone like Jim who could make them look like an amazing rock star like he looks like, or whatever. We're more approachable because we're live and we're talking, and this is us. It's like, this thing is live. Anybody right now that's watching can put a comment in here, and then it lives as a replay, and you're going to see those questions and comments, Deb, and you're going to answer them, and it's engagement, and it's creating community. So for me, it's about not just that connection piece that I just talked about, but people throw around that authenticity word so much, but in live video, this is who I am. And when you meet me, this is who I am. And so that's really what it's about. And for some people, they're like, I don't like this guy, which is cool, which kind of works for me too, right? I get to disqualify you as a prospect too. So that's cool. You don't like my voice. You don't like what I do. You don't like, okay, cool. But I'm going to be me, and I'm going to be happy being me. And then when you meet me, you're going to be like, you're just the same guy that I saw doing the Dealcasters show. And I'm like, yeah, because we do this live. So that's really the whole thing, is just show up and be yourself. We did a show today, Deb, for one of my clients, and it was the first podcast that the guests had ever done. They were financial advisors. They were wealth advisors, right? And I'm like, uh-oh, boring. Like, number one rule of podcasting, ladies and gentlemen, never be boring, right? And so I just told these guys, they came into the studio, and I said, guys, just be yourself, because your prospects or whatever, anybody that sees you, they want to know this is you. They don't want to see some concocted thing where you paid thousands of dollars to create this video that's super edited with all kinds of flash and all the kind. They just want you. This is who you want to do. You want to build trust with your prospects. And they were like, thank you for saying that. And they had a great time. It was, they had so much fun. And it was just, and now they have this huge hour-long piece of content that they can utilize to potentially get more clients. And it's all content of themselves being completely authentic. And sometimes like they screwed up a couple of times, and he was all worried about it because he was talking about me after that. I was like, that's fine. because that's who you are. And your clients will be fine. Your prospects will be fine with it. And if they're not, well, then they weren't ever meant to be your prospects or your clients.
I often for this show will have, again, 3 people who don't know each other who happen to do the exact same thing. And I guarantee you a client for one is not a client for the other 2 because everybody's personality is different. Everybody's approach is different. I worked with a client years ago. She saw me do one of my very rare 60-second Hi, I'm Deb videos. I haven't done those in a while. I guess I need to. Anyway, she's like, when she met with me, she said, I met 5 people before I met you. And I did not connect to any of them. So, and apparently some people like quiet people. They are not my client. If you're not at one with the cheerleader vibe, there are plenty more serious people I am sure you can find who like goals. Although they're not going to, never mind. I'm sorry. Tangent. I think I should just like yell that. But then I'd be yelling it like every 2 minutes during a show. The point being, people don't just connect to your expertise and experience. They connect with who you are.
Yes.
Yep.
And we've got, I feel like I'm jumping ahead, but I want to say hi to Leah, who's watching live.
What's up, Gabe?
And Gabe is watching live as well. And he wants to know thoughts on AI and content creation for a live stream newbie. Usually we do questions afterwards, but I feel like we were going to get to the AI question. So why not?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. My thoughts on AI and content creation. You cannot be scared of this. And it's, I tell Jim's going to hear this and he's going to tune out because he's heard me say this a million times. Artificial intelligence and AI is like electricity. No one is an electricity expert right now. I mean, there are electricians, but like everyone right now is like trying to make it look like they're an expert in this, and it's just going to eventually be baked into everything. So if you don't know about how to power up your content and how to power up your live stream and how to utilize AI in what you're doing, you're going to have to lean in. I will say this, Gabe, in terms of someone who's a newbie, don't be afraid that you're missing out on something, because there's new things that are launching every second, every minute. It is a fire hose that you're trying to drink out of. Touch into something and say, okay, let me see how this is going to work for me on ChatGPT. Let me see, I'm having struggles with this. Let me see if I can utilize Claude for this. Let me see if I can use Nano Banana for image creation. Let me see if I can use these kinds of things to help create, more impactful thumbnails. Let me see if I can utilize some of these plugins for audio to clean up some of the room noise and some of these things. Don't think you have to do all of the things. Just what are your biggest pain points? And then lean into the AI tools from experts like, James Hicks and some of these other, Tanya Smith and some of these other folks that understand, okay, you're a content creator. Here's the tools that I use to create this. Here's this. And just, carve out some time. Don't go, can't boil the ocean is what James Hicks always says. So that's the biggest thing with AI, is that too many people jump into it and they just become overwhelmed because there's a whole bunch of AI experts everywhere. And there's an arms race with all of these companies like Anthropic and OpenAI. And
I feel like you are so cart before horse here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna rephrase the cart question. No, the horse question. And then if there's more cart, we'll circle back.
Okay.
Because and this is, you did not answer that at all like I thought you would. And maybe I should have saved.
Did you want me to answer it? Tell me how I should answer it.
No, this is the point. I feel like live stream is like the antidote to AI, because you cannot fake being yourself. That being said, what you can do, and you were on when we were talking on AI last spring, so I do remember, and I am still skeptical. I'm a little bit less so, but that's a different tangent. But the point being, there are tools that can make live streaming easier, and those are the AI tools that are available. Is that accurate?
Well,
They're looking at me like I'm whatever. If you are only listening to this, the facial expressions alone.
No, I'm just trying. This is me thinking, Deb. I'm
okay.
not. This is
so
no.
I'm
This is
gonna,
real thinking, not AI thinking.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you do real thinking. Well, I'm gonna let Jim again answer the horse question, and then we will go back to the card.
Oh.
What are the AI tools people can use to support their live streaming?
Well, I mean, on one of the platforms we're on right now, which is Substack, when this live video is done, it is going to create clips using AI before I even tell it what I think it should do, and it's going to title it. So it may take some of Chris's brilliance, and that may be one of the initial clips. So I think from the perspective of repurposing, that's where it can be very powerful for a live streamer, because now they can do it much quicker, as opposed to, oh, I've got to send this out to an editor and they're going to, go through it, and I got to remember what were the good parts. It's still not perfect. I think you still have to, think about it. And a lot of the live streaming platforms, well, I don't know if I say a lot. I know that, as an example, StreamYard, I'm not sure. I think maybe Restream. And like I said, I know Substack on the back end, when your video is done, does help with the repurposing of your live video. Because I think where it's helpful is that, and this is a mistake I've made before, is that we get so wrapped up in this episode that when it's done, it's like it's off to our next show, and we forget we need to take that content and repurpose it, because there were people that couldn't make it. They forgot about it. And so these clips, it's like, oh, I need to go watch this. This looks interesting. And I think, Chris, our good friend Jeff C. does that with stuff that's even like older, like stuff from the archives, as we were joking about last week, because there are people watching us today that didn't see our shows from last year, 2-3 years ago, but there's still some content that's relevant today. And that's where using AI to repurpose that, I think, is extremely powerful and important, and it speeds the process up. So as much as I think what we're doing is important, being live and in real time, I think it's just as important to think, what are we going to do with this content once it's done? And that's where I think, for me, AI is a game changer. But I 100% agree with Chris on the whole, all these people claiming to be experts, because it just reminds me of these phases we've gone through over the last 6 years. The crypto bros that then became the NFT bros, and now they're all the AI bros. So,
great answer. And Gabe said, I didn't mean to take the show off track. Don't worry, we were off track before we started. It's all
what is
good.
a track? What's track? I didn't know the track.
Exactly. And hello to Lisa, who just joined us live.
Hi, Lisa.
I love that. Okay, now that we've referenced, there are tools available. Do you have anything else to add, Chris? Because I cut you off.
So, AI tools, if we're going to talk about that and how it relates to live stream, I would highly recommend getting an aggregator. Mine of choice is Magi. It's magi.co, which allows you, it gives you all of the LLMs and all of the image and video models. And you pay one price for all of them. I still can't believe that's really legal, but it totally is. And it allows you to go in and say, well, I'm going to try Nano Banana for graphics, or I'm going to see if Claude is better at creating my social media content than ChatGPT is. Or what is this new model called Kling that everybody's talking about? You don't have to go and subscribe to it or give them your email address or pay $8 a month. And all of a sudden you've got this bill that looked like your cable bill from 1999, where it was like, how am I paying $185 for 6,000 channels I don't watch? So that's right now how this whole thing works. And so never pay a yearly charge for any of these things, because your money, because a lot of content creators, they're like, they can't pay all of this money for all of this software all the time. Like if you've got an agency like I do, or you've got, and you have to have all of these things, you've got clients that can sort of offset all of these costs. But if you're a solo creator, you can't pay for all of these things. And so an aggregator is a great way to do it, but also saying, I'm only going to pay a monthly fee, not a yearly fee. And then you're tied to a piece of software you don't really like. And you're in month 7 and you're like, well, I got to use it because I paid a year for it, even though I didn't do it. So that's the other thing, is do the aggregator thing and utilize these things for things like show notes. So like every time you do a live stream, Deb, you have, you probably have a template, and it used, all of us have like Google Sheets or whatever we use, Notion or whatever we use to orchestrate all of our shows. And so if you can utilize,
mine's not even that sophisticated.
Okay. So you can utilize these LLMs and have them completely redo your show notes for shows that were already done years ago, and make them, stuff them with great keywords and hashtags and all of these things, and automate it so that, and it will generate more views for your, Jim talked about content that, you repurpose from the past. There's no reason why you can't go back to an old YouTube video and be like, why isn't this getting more views? This video is awesome. We had Jim Fuhs on our show. He talked about some awesome stuff. So you get a clip because you have these AI pieces of software, whether it's Opus. If you're not someone that can edit with this Descript or any of these things like I can, use Opus or we're on Restream, and they do, Jim, have this thing where it'll give you some clips afterwards for you to use. But there's all kinds of stuff where you can say, hey, this was a great show for me. Why can't I just pull it off the digital shelf, dust it off, put a new shine on it, put some new content on? And it's not that hard with some of these pieces of software. It's like pulling the transcript, and it's like, ooh, I like that title better. That catches my attention a little bit better. Ooh, that's a really cool looking thumbnail. Here's some great looking hashtags based on SEO that these things are. And all of a sudden you got something that did 17 views on YouTube that's 10xing, because so you don't have to do new content all the time. You can go back and say, this was a great show. Why aren't we pulling back and propping it up with AI? Okay.
Now I still hate AI, but I don't love it enough to talk about it the entire time. So
why do you hate it, Deb?
Honestly,
yes,
I love
please.
hate
No,
it.
No, please don't be honest with me.
Oh, Gabe wants to know what LLM stands for.
Large language models. So
Thank you.
ChatGPT, Claude. Sorry, I know. I sometimes
Google.
Thank you for correcting. Like sometimes you throw out acronyms and you think everybody knows, and then everybody's like, "Stop making me sound like an idiot, Chris. Just tell me what that means." Large language models. Yeah.
Leanna, thank you also for joining us. At this point, if you have any live streaming questions, ask, because we're completely off track anyway, which we love. This is why I have love-hate with AI. My business is helping people write book proposals so they sell their nonfiction books.
Okay.
You cannot sell a book if you're writing it using AI. You just can't. They actually now, it is my understanding, there's now also a clause in your contract with a publisher where you are stating this is your original material. There are so many people out there saying, oh, I'm just going to write a book with AI and I'm going to self-publish. You can't do that either.
Right.
AI, like SMART goals, is a tool. if you use it as a tool, if there's a sentence you don't like or a paragraph where you need to do research, or as I should be doing, because this is what Jim and I were talking about before we went live, the one thing I don't do, which I need to do or want to do, is little clip things, because I am the example. I am the one who loves the show, and as soon as it's over, I do 3.5 podcasts. I'm on to the next one that week. So I do appreciate that bit of inspiration. But the people who are using AI to prop up their actual written writing and using it instead of original writing, that's where I get really non-happy.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah. I totally get it. Yeah, there's just something about like when somebody sends something, and it could be a book, it could be a post, and you look at it and you're like, okay, you didn't write that. You didn't write it. And it just, everything, the bottom falls out, right? There's a loss of trust.
But that is the whole purpose. And then we're going to let Jim talk, because we want to make sure he gets to just a little, not a lot. It's fine. I'm sure you're used to this, Jim.
I love listening to these conversations.
The point I'm trying to make is, okay, it goes back to why we love live streaming. If you've got something that has been massaged or over massaged by AI, it is not you. It is not authentically you. So in the work that I do, working with experts who want to get their nonfiction book traditionally published by creating a book proposal, it's all about, this is what I say that to them. This is your space. You are owning your space, and you are putting your words, your emotion, your experience into it. And AI can't copy that. Now, that being said, if your grammar is terrible, do, Grammarly or spell check or whatever, but it is using it as a tool enables you to maintain your style, your tone, your authenticity, and most importantly, your enthusiasm. Rant over.
Thank you for that.
For now. Wow. Well, we've got more people watching live. We've got Jackie and Jay. And thank you, Meryl, because apparently you sent a bunch of these people to us. If anybody has any live streaming questions, feel free to share it. If not, I will ask another one as she tries desperately, well, not that desperately, to rein us back in. And Gabe really raises an important question, which is that how do you get started? Because we take it for granted. We've been doing the live stream thing for a while. I mean, GoalChat started spring 2020. It was my first pandemic project because I just released a book and you couldn't do events anywhere. Okay, let's start a live show. And like I said, we take for granted because the tools even now are way easier than they were even 6 years ago. 6 years ago. Insane. So how in today do you recommend someone get started? Jim?
Well, one, pick a topic that you're passionate about and then start talking about it. And if you want to, have guests, that's great. But I think one of the things that's changed, this is something that we were talking about, Junaid and James Hicks last week. And I actually like this. It's like, I think if you get put into this pressure situation of like, I've got to go live every week at the same time, at the same place, because if I don't, people will stop watching me. Well, first of all, nobody's watching you to begin with because you haven't started. Right. So do the reps. Chris and I talk about that all the time. Your first show is not going to be as good as your second show, which isn't going to be as good as your third show, because you're learning to do it. So if you're not ready to do something like we've got going on here, just start with your phone and, go live. I mean, you can go, another plug for Substack. You can go live on Substack with your phone. It's that simple. You can even have people, join you that are also on Substack, and it'll go live. And if you want, when it's done, it goes to the draft section and you never have to publish it, but you did it. And you can go back and you can review it. Some of the other platforms are getting a little harder to go live on. Personally, new live streamer, I would say don't go live on Facebook. You're wasting your time. They're going to delete your video in 30 days. So if I was going to go live, starting today, I would say YouTube, Substack, possibly LinkedIn, because at times LinkedIn causes people to have problems. But just, pick somewhere where you feel like your audience hangs out. But what is the goal of going live? It's kind of like, why are you having a podcast, right? Is it to gain clients? Is it to, grow your community? So I think that has to be part of it too. And I would actually say, which might be a little bit contradictory to what you were kind of talking about earlier, Deb. So we'll see what your thoughts are on this. It's not always about having to have your own show, but being a guest on other people's shows. Because when you're a guest, just like Chris and I are here today, we're able to talk about our experience and things like that. But when you're the host, you're really supposed to be highlighting your guests. So what is it you want to do? You want to interview other people and learn from them, or do you want to share your knowledge with the world? I think that kind of creates the why are you going to go live? So if you're going to go live, maybe you can start to become a guest on other people's shows. I mean, Gabe and his wife have now started a new show that where they're talking about, what they're going about marriage stuff, right? Which I think is awesome, right? There's so many different things you can talk about. And so I think for me, if you're going to go live, why are you going to go live? And I'll say, and the one things I do like about going live is it's easy because there's no like do-overs, right? So what you say is what's going out there. So I could see where that could scare people, but just start simple talking about things that you're passionate about. And I think that makes a big difference.
Before I let Chris answer, I need to address this. and so I go live every week to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So we go live on Monday, and then Tuesday becomes a blog post, and we've got the rewatch links. And then Thursday, I now re-upload it to Facebook under the Deb method because Facebook does delete it. And I also put it up on LinkedIn, and it goes to all the podcast platforms. So I agree. If you're going to Facebook, you need to also upload to Facebook because that really bothers me. But in the couple weeks I did not go to Facebook, there are people that still watch the show on Facebook. So anyway, and this is also unusual. When I have 3 guests, I talk a lot less than when I have only 2. I agree that it is good practice to be on other people's live shows before you start one. However, if you are intent on becoming the authority in whatever your subject is, or a niche of your subject matter or genre or whatever you want to call it, then I believe you do need your own show, and you need to figure out what is the easiest way I can do this and keep my sanity. And Chris, what do you think is the easiest? What do people need to know to get started live streaming?
Well, I think a lot of people have problems with confidence on camera, and even seasoned podcasters who've recorded audio podcasts for years without doing video have some sort of they're reticent to turn on their cameras. And I look at it like this: you can choose to not do video if you want. That is a choice. Like, you don't want to turn on the camera for whatever reason. You don't want to get yourself together every time. You feel like whatever the reasons are that you have for not turning on your camera and doing what we're doing right now, that's fine. You could just record your audio and you'll have an audio podcast, and you could even upload that in some way, shape, or form on YouTube. But the fact of the matter is, you won't get found as much. And so when you have that mindset and you say, okay, if I want to impact people with what I want to do, I'm going to have to do this, right? And I'm not going to force people to turn on their cameras and go live, but if you want to get found and you want to solve people's problems and you have the content to be able to do that, learn how to do that. And, turn on your camera. You could do a bunch of videos and not put them up. And, you can go to the Dealcasters YouTube channel right now and just sort by videos and by date and look at the oldest videos we put up. Those are the videos we put up 5 years ago. And they're horrible. They're awful. They're embarrassing, Deb. They're absolutely
in our
embarrassing.
opinion. Other people may not feel the same way, Chris.
Oh, whatever. But we didn't take them down. We're not going to take them down. And the reason why is because we want other people to see those. We absolutely want other people to see those, because mistakes happen and you grow, and the more you put in the repetition. We're not going to sit here and put out the stats of the number of videos that we did and all of that kind of stuff, because it's like, whatever. But it takes effort, it takes consistency, it takes all of that kind of stuff. And the bottom line is, most people aren't willing to do the work that's necessary to be successful. I didn't say rich, I said successful. So what does success look like for you? If you're a newbie and you want to live stream, what you have to do is you have to understand, here's what Jim talked about: purpose. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing my show? What is exactly that? Why? It's usually to help people, to solve people's problems, to do that. Who are those people? Who are the people you're serving, right? People, a lot of times, Deb, people will say, well, I don't even know. I kind of don't know what to talk about. I know I need to do it. People say I was a good podcaster, but I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Okay. Who are you serving? Like if it's this person who is a 42-ish year old person who has really trouble cooking and they don't know what to make every night for their kids, and I'm spitballing here, Deb, help me out. But like,
no, I am watching this. I'm
right.
enjoying this.
So this is my person. So that's my person. What are their problems? Where are they going? What do they read? Where, all of the things, know who that person is. Think about what they have. What are their issues? That's your content. That's what you talk about. Those are the kinds of people you bring on your show. That's the kind of people that you want to, those are the people that you want to serve that audience. And then let it go. And then it's going to move. Like, the other thing too, Deb, is when you start a show, this, you think it's going to be this. You think it's going to be exactly this particular show. But what happens? Well, like, Chris Stone shows up and all of a sudden it's over here, like, oh, okay. Well, like maybe, and this other person shows up and all of a sudden it becomes a slightly different show after you've done it for 6 months. After you've done it for 8 months, it kind of changes a little bit. And all of a sudden the audience starts showing up. People are chiming in, like all these monsters that are here in the chat. You got a smart chat here. Look at all these people that are watching the show over here on LinkedIn and Facebook. Like, those people are here for that community, and you serve those people. These people, I show up and I chime in because I'm served by this community, right? And so when you have that mindset, it makes things a little bit easier. Like, you're not going to show up and have 100,000 people, at episode 10. You're going to show up and it's going to be like your partner and, the 3 people you called to show up and hit the like button. But like, the good thing is nobody's watching yet, right? And you can kind of get through the reps and you get better and you get better as step after step, just like going to the gym. You don't get shredded after you go twice. You get better after a few times. So
that's why. Okay, good to know. I'm kidding. I don't go to the gym. Well, and we've got a very active chat on LinkedIn right now. So thank you all. If I have not said a hello, we so appreciate you being here. And I'm going to take this opportunity. If you would like to be a guest on GoalChat, I host a mixer on the 3rd Wednesday of the month, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. You guys are welcome. Everybody's welcome. But basically, if we're not friends yet, you kind of need to come so we can become friends so you can get on GoalChat. So the next one is February 18th. The link is in the chat. And if you go to the debmethod.com/blog to get the recap and the goals, which we will get to shortly, I will I will have that link in there as well, because the whole purpose of all of the things is community, being out there, making friends. I say this all the time. Networking is not networking, it's relationship development. You meet people and you meet people and then you keep meeting people. And if at some point you give them work, they give you work, you buy their thing, they buy your thing, or you know people that the people that you meet know, et cetera, it's not hi, how are you? Buy my stuff. Is a hi, how are you? What are you passionate about? Which is, I'll bring it back to the show. What I get to do is bring people to talk about the things that they're passionate about and let other people watch. The other thing that I will add, so GoalChat started, was me talking. That was 2 episodes. They were terrible. And I should have, actually, they were just on Facebook, so they're gone. Sorry, people.
You're so happy.
And then I was doing
Thanks, Zuck.
one-on-ones. Yeah, those were me talking to myself. Never a good sign, right? Anyway, so I was doing one-on-one interviews, and then the end of the year, I'm like, great, this was December 2020. You could not leave the house. And I said, great, how do you do a holiday party? Can't leave the house. Well, you bring together people who don't know each other. And that's what started me alternating. I was doing once a month and then a couple times a month I'd do a panel. By the spring, the one-on-one interviews were gone, and this was my show. So that is, I think, a really good example of evolution. But it doesn't get to evolve unless you start, basically, right? Before we get into the goals, I want each of you to say, for those of us who are seasoned, as it were, what is one thing that they can do to amp up the live streaming to get it better? Yes, I see lots of thinking. And this is really, while you're thinking, this is really funny. So I do host 3.5 shows. Only one of them is a live show. Days Spreads with Deb is pre-recorded 20 minutes. Book Proposal Podcast is 3.5 minutes audio only, me answering frequently asked questions. Because when I started my Substack, I said, what am I going to do? I'm going to answer frequently asked questions. Well, I might as well start a podcast. I have a feeling, though, that's not going to, the next iteration of that one will be me talking to myself. Don't hold me to it, but
when you say you're talking to yourself, do you like talk back?
Wouldn't you? Would I talk back to me? No, I'm right. No.
That'd be a good podcast. I'd subscribe to that.
But the point being, I love it because it makes it really interesting. But I will also say, when I pre-record stuff, not for Taste Buds, but when I'm doing webinars and even Book Proposal Podcast, I'll redo it. I'll do it 2 or 3 times. Not a good use of my time.
Right.
Much better, I should go live and not have the opportunity
That's
to edit myself. Is much more. Okay, another reason for doing it, it's much more efficient time-wise.
That's it. Absolutely. And, you know, Deb, this is a great point. This is another reason, kind of going back to some of these other questions, is, you know, a great reason to do live streaming is, like, if you went back and looked at a video, you would, like, you're in your own head, right? You look at it and you go, oh man, I said, you know, or I said, here, and I didn't see. You know what? It's probably not that big of a deal. And so why not, instead of going back and back and back and wasting an hour or 2 doing the multiple things or edits or whatever, like that, I'm a perfectionist, a recovering perfectionist. And that's why I started to go live more, was because I was taking hours and hours and hours editing this video for nothing, right? Because I thought that this was not how I should sound, but this is me. So why am I doing that? So let's just go live. This is me. And if I screwed up a little bit, or if I did, said, or I need to work better at delivering something better live. and then just work on the next live and work on the next live. And that's what helped me get over perfectionism. So if somebody is receiving that right now, live video is the greatest way to get over your perfectionism and just go, you know what? There's not as many people that are thinking about it as you think they are. It's you that's keeping yourself from putting that content out. So just hit that red button, go, and then look at it. Yeah, you're going to cringe. Yeah, there's going to be moments where, but it's okay. There's not that many people that are looking at it. So go to the next one. Go to the next one. Get better, get better, get better. And then you can be Jim Fuhs and look like a rock star.
But you know what, Chris? You just gave me so many mic drop moments that I'm going to have to make clips of. And that was just was amazing. But I guess to answer your question, Deb, the most important thing that someone can do to really up their live stream game, and I know it's going to sound contrary, Chris, I think you know where I'm going with this, is make sure you have good audio.
Oh, you took it, Jim. You took mine.
I learned that from you, Chris Stone. You know that. But audio is so important because we can forgive the video being grainy or whatever. Because the other challenge with live video, people don't always think about it, is where are they going live? Do they actually have a good signal? You may run into these things where people start to have kind of the buffer because maybe they're using their cell signal and they should have realized they're really going to have 2 bars. Even with Wi-Fi, it might be that everybody in the house is using some device and that's causing problems. So at least if you have that good audio, people may, forget. Well, they will forgive the video, but they can hear your message. Yeah. And I think that is the critical part, is getting that good audio, and you can do it affordably. You don't have to spend, hundreds of dollars. I mean, for a long time, my first microphone, after I got rid of Chris's favorite microphone, which will remain nameless, was the Samson Q2U. You can get them $50, $60 on Amazon. They work both USB. You don't necessarily have to have an interface, but there's a lot of advances in that area now too. Our friends at Shure have made this software that'll let you connect any microphone to your computer and use that as your interface. So it really, helps you kind of overcome that, oh, well, if I want to use this microphone, I'm going to have to buy this piece of equipment and that piece of equipment. I think, part of it, or my second piece would be keep it simple. Whether it's using your smartphone as your camera, you've already spent a lot of money on that. There's software that lets you hook that up to your computer. Stop making excuses, right? Good mic, good camera, and just do it.
And
he's good, isn't he, Deb? He's good.
He's very good. But I use this. I use my earbuds for this show because I type the notes, the highlights. This is how I do my recap, and it captures it when I use my good microphone. So even if you're using an earbud, it is way better than using nothing, because then you get noise from everywhere. So I don't know why I'm like earbud apologizing.
I have earbuds. They're just behind my.
You're an earbud apologist?
They're
I'm an earbud apologist. Well, but you've got a microphone going. You've got like a grown-up one, right?
Yeah, that's a grown-up microphone.
What'd you call me? Did you call me a grown-up? Don't call me.
No, I would never call you that.
It's like the worst thing you could call me.
I would never.
Thank you, Deb.
So, Chris, what is your amp up your live show advice?
Well, Jim stole mine. Audio is the most important thing, and I think that people get lost on that, especially on video.
But he already gave that, so you.
I know. I'm segueing here, Deb. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Listen, you don't need a expensive camera. Like, there are webcams now that are 4K that are less than $50. That will get you, near what you see here on the screen. But you have to understand sort of if you're doing live streaming, like don't show up with your laptop, right? And your laptop mic and with your webcam sitting on top of your laptop, or just using your laptop webcam and your laptop, tilted back, because what it looks like is this. And you're looking up someone's nostrils, you're seeing a spinning ceiling fan, right? Everyone here that you see on your screen has placement here. We all have the camera right about here in front of us, right? And there's a reason for that, because when you meet somebody IRL, Deb, you talked about this, when you meet somebody, at an event and networking, you don't like walk up to them and you look up and you're looking up into their nostrils, and you feel like a toddler. It's like, no, you want to be presentable. You want to, and none of this is expensive, right? Put a light in front of you so you don't look like you're in witness protection, and you're presentable. You're like, this is the person. This is exactly the person. And you don't need it to start with a $2,000 camera and a $6,000 lighting setup and all of this stuff. Go back and, again, I urge you, go back and look at the Dealcaster channels, sort by the videos. You can see some of our older videos. We did not look good. We looked like, we walked out of a coffin, but we had little webcams and we were learning and we were doing everything we can, about what we knew and what we had. And that's what you got to do. You got to go with what you have, and then learn every day and go through the process. It's about, success is about the little things you stack up every single day. It's a Jim Rome thing. That's not like a Chris Stone thing.
Chris Stone, Jim Rome, they rhyme.
Yeah. So
I was thinking that.
So you've got to do that. You can't boil the ocean all at once. So that's my tip, is get yourself lined up properly, like stack up get a box or stack of 52 Secrets books behind you, on top with the camera, so that it's eye level, and so it's not a situation where it looks like you're over here in the corner, Get a mic. It doesn't have to be an expensive mic. Talk into it properly, like Jim's talking about. Audio is important, That's it. People just want to understand what you say and see you clearly. It's not expensive. It's you'd be able to start this thing with the cost of an Xbox, which you probably already bought for your kid.
So this is what's getting me about your advice for amping up your live streaming.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are things that people need to know off the bat, not just to amp it up. So actually, it's
they forget it, Deb.
Advice. It's like pre-advice. Okay, figure out your goal, get started, and then once you're started, you need to look good and you need to sound good. You need to get your little circle light, so it's.
Oh no! Don't buy any ring light. No ring lights. Don't buy any ring lights.
Yeah, no ring lights. No.
No, only if you're putting on makeup in the morning in your bathroom. The ring lights are not. Yeah.
Well, I've got two. I'm well lit. Am I not?
No, you got. Well, it's tough to get it. To a point. You probably just didn't turn them on, right? You had to adjust them and get them right.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And
so
I now know
key lights are better for getting things right. Ring lights are difficult in terms of, like, especially if you get someone that's got glasses.
Yep.
It's difficult.
Don't be hating on my ring light.
I'm not hating on your ring light, Deb.
Deb, you expected this. I know I did. It's okay. It is so all good. No, I love. Well, first of all, I love the interaction and I love the conversation. I also love who let the goals out. Woo, woo, woo. I'm not gonna. I mean, whenever I try and sing, it's never a good day for anybody. But I do appreciate your enthusiasm. You were commenting about mine, so thank you for tuning in live to Jay and to everybody else they're having the little side conversations, booking each other on their shows, which I love. And if you ever want anybody to talk about live streaming or goals, reach out to any and all of us goals me. live streaming them and maybe me. Anyway, where did I go? Oh, yes. Goals. I mean, we gave lots of tips, but let's give some concrete goals. What is something people could do today, tonight, like immediately to get better at live streaming? Yes, I need something new.
Your goal would be grab your smartphone, put it right in front of you, pull up the camera app, hit video, and record yourself. And then listen to it, see what you think, do it again. And do that every day for 30 days and see how much you've improved.
But that's not live streaming. Is that just
But it's
to get your confidence up
to get
so
them there.
you...
Yeah, get your confidence up.
Every day for 30 days.
Yes, that's your goal.
Wow, that's a tough one. Usually you're nicer.
Well, it's almost Lent, so I had to come up with something to make people sacrifice.
Okay then, Chris, what goal are you gifted? Well, this is really. I'm going to give you a cheat. So I say the 5 of 7 rule. So even if you do it 5 times a week to get to 30 days, because we don't always want to. I mean, you're guys. You like wake up perfect for camera, but.
Oh, Deb, you know how much it takes to put this together? Come on.
Mm.
I got all kinds of makeup here, you know. I'm touching this up.
I am so sorry. I did not mean to offend.
No. What? Offend me?
That's hard to do.
No, you did not.
Okay, I'm
me.
saying every day for 30 days, or can we just say do it for 30 days but get it done in the span of a month and a half. You could take a day off here and there. It's okay. I will not tell.
I'm not understanding this. I've lost the plot. Like, what are we talking about right now?
Okay. Jim was saying go live every day for 30 days for a minute on your phone.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you need to take a day off here and there, that's fine, but you want to do it at least 5 days a week.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is a goal thing. Where people say, don't break the chain, do this every day, or else, you lose the thread. I say it's good to think about your goals every day. If all you do is think about them, it is cheating. So you do need to put some work behind it, but it is not always feasible for people to do something every day. So I like to give them a little bit of leeway. That is all.
Okay.
Did I give you enough time to come up with a goal, Chris?
No, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Excellent.
I talked about it earlier. I think too many people get lost in identifying who the person is that they're speaking to. I mean, people call it Avatar, but I always think that weird movie with the blue people.
Right.
And so the goal is, if you are wanting to create a live stream show, a lot of things that keeps people from creating is they don't know what they're going to talk about. But if you understand who you're talking to and what you can do, like sort of like you're the doctor and you're giving them the medicine. So the goal is identify who your key audience is, demographic. You like really get down to who that person is, and then think about the problems that person has, and then your content is solving those problems. That's your goal. And don't spend too much time doing it. Once you do about 3 of those, start your show. Don't wait and get 20 of those, because you will never start. Start with 3, because you're going to have to learn the repetition of going live. And like, okay, I screwed up on this. I needed to do this. I need to do this. They have to be in tandem. You have to start, identifying those things. Don't wait until you have like 50 things before you go live, because you'll never go live.
I love that. That's another mic drop from Chris Stone.
I love that. It's so important. I am actually the opposite of that. So, I do a book proposal podcast. These are 3 to 5 minute episodes. So you would think I would record a bunch at a time, but you would be wrong. Every
No?
Monday, I'm like, okay, let me answer a question. Okay, I'll record it after GoalChat. I'll be good. But batching is good when you're starting because you don't. But batch
Yes.
them small.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jean said, confidence comes from taking action. Thinking about it never works. Yup.
There we go, Sean.
Absolutely. And I think that is the point of going live. You can't overthink it if you're live. I mean, do you think I'm not tempted to go back and edit some of the goofiness out of here?
What's wrong with? Oh, you're gonna edit the goofiness out?
No, this is
we
what
need
I'm
more
saying.
goofiness. I'm gonna edit in more goofiness.
Just no gold doubloons there, Stone.
Right.
What I was going to say was,
oh my gosh.
He knows what I'm talking about.
apparently, one of us does.
Well, we'll talk after the show. That was funny.
It would occur to me for half a microsecond to be like, oh, should I edit out that tangent when Chris didn't understand what I was saying? No.
What?
It's part of the conversation. And that's what makes live so interesting. If you're listening, you're probably not getting the facial expressions. And for that, I'm so sorry. But if you're watching live or the replay, you get it. This is a conversation, friends hanging out, and also sharing information, which is the entire point of GoalChat.
Yes.
Well, that plus I haven't seen you all in ages, so it was time to get you back on the show.
Since last year.
Deb, for those that are just listening, where can they go and find this video?
Well, I was just going to ask you guys where people can find you, but I will start with myself. I am at The Deb Method everywhere. And at The Deb Method is my YouTube channel, but you can also go to thedebmethod.com/blog, and then you can watch the replay and get the recap, which will include the goals and the soon-to-be shared final thoughts.
Deb, you're awesome.
You're awesome, both of you. So, Jim, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me in my basement talking on my microphone. No, I would say LinkedIn. You can find me under my name, Jim Fuhs. For Chris and I both, go to our YouTube channel, Dealcasters, and then we've also got a Substack called The Real Dealcasters, just in case someone tried to steal it. And then also
the fake
on
ones.
Substack. Well, there's some stories there. JimFuhs.substack.com. I spend a lot of time on Substack, not just creating content, but even engaging in the social aspect of it in the notes. So I see people posting stuff. I might pop a comment in because you can't schedule engagement. You have to be real.
Ooh. And Chris, where can people learn more about you?
You can find me at castahead.net. And you can see wherever we want to connect. I love to hang out on LinkedIn and all that stuff. So, but you want to see what we're doing over at castahead.net, be happy to allow you in and hang out, whatever that means.
Awesome. And as I said before, you can go to thedebmethod.com/blog to get the recaps and the replays. You can learn more about me at thebookproposalexpert.com and subscribe to bookproposals.substack.com. Can you believe that wasn't taken? I mean, it was taken by me.
No, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Someone took Dealcasters.com a long time ago, and I don't know if they want too much money for it, so
forget them.
Yeah.
But yes, I was launching this angle of my brand, and I could not believe it didn't exist, so I grabbed it. So there you go. And I am live every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and sometimes Substack. And you can also subscribe to GoalChat and any of my other 2.5 podcasts. I co-host one. It's the best one. All I have to do is show up. You can subscribe to any of those on your favorite place to subscribe to podcasts. Oh, and if you need goal help, grab a copy of your goal guide and/or 52 secrets for goal setting and goal getting to get your inspiration, motivation to plan and achieve your goals. Okay, gentlemen, final thought, Chris, final thought, Jim, and then I will wrap us up.
Deb, thank you so much for having me on. It's always awesome. I love your energy. Your show is great. I just, you touched on this earlier. Jim and I know each other, but one of the great things about this show is the times that I've been on is that you intentionally bring people on that don't know each other. And one of the things we haven't talked about as much as we should have for live streaming, that is an underrated thing for live streaming, is networking, meeting people, connecting with them, and seeing if maybe we can help each other. And Deb, thank you for being a part of that and sort of orchestrating that, being the conductor of that, and bringing us all together. I've had other opportunities because I've been on this show with other people. Jim won't have any opportunities with me after the show, unfortunately. I mean, we've maximized our opportunities, Deb. But seriously, thank you for having me on. This is a fantastic show, and that's it. That's all.
Thank you for coming over to play with us, and
yes.
Thank you for jumping in when we need to. And this was great.
Pull me in, Coach.
You commented hello like a week or 2 weeks ago. Hey. And the second our other person had to drop, I immediately thought of you. Now, whether it was because of Jim and Dealcasters or it was because you popped up in my feed a week or 2 ago, doesn't matter. You were top of mind, and that is why you all were treated to such wackiness today. You're welcome. Okay, Jim.
Final thoughts. I mean, AI is not going away as much as people, maybe some people would like it to go away, but also live streaming is not going away. Live streaming, I think, will actually become more important because people, you might even have two camps. You have those people that want the real human interaction, which live streaming brings, and then you have those other folks. So no one's going to replace Chris Stone's amazing voice or face and wisdom that he brings with AI. They could try, but I could spot a fake a mile away. And so, if you haven't started, what is it they say? The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now. And I guess the third best time is tomorrow if you don't get it done today.
Okay, so you all have like extra important goal homework. If you're not live streaming, just start recording, gain that confidence. If you've been live streaming, look around to see what you could do to amp up your setup. And if you've been doing it a while, try and mix things up or start a second or third or fourth or fifth show. No, I'm only kidding a little bit. The point is, if you are live streaming, make sure you know your purpose and you're continuing to hit that note. Because remember, we're all here. Yes, we're here. We're having fun. We're hanging out. But we're really here to share information so your life is better. Your business can grow based on the information that we have to share, which is kind of the point of getting on video and sharing what you know with the world. So thank you again, Jim Fuhs, Chris Stone. You are amazing. Thank you for tuning in. Those of you who are here live today, we so appreciate your lively interaction. Again, live every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific. Go set some live stream goals. We hope yours amped up as we are. Go on out there and go for it because we know you can do it.
Bye.